All hail Biafra. This is Biafra Liberation Army Network coming to you again. Please like, share, and comment.
We are hearing again the one they call Musa, the Fulani man with a Christian name Christopher, the so-called CDS of that damnable republic called Nigeria. He said, and I quote, that they are out there, that their so-called military force, they are looking for the terror financiers in that so-called Nigeria. That they are out to, to get them. They are working hard to get them. But as you all know, that's just some few months ago, they were so quick to give a dog a bad name, to hang it with the Biafrans that are diligently raising our money in public to protect the land of Biafra. They were quick to say, oh, they now have the names of terror financiers. When it comes to the Biafrans, they are quick to proclaim our name and call us the terrorist financiers. So today, I will bust the bubble of this man. I will help this man to do his job, since he claims he is not smart enough to have the names that was released by the USA and also through the UAE, United Arab Emirates, according to the UAE Federal Court of Appeals in Abu Dhabi. I took my time to do a research when we heard there was a list from the UAE. Even the Nigerian media, they refused to, or they didn't have the balls to publish out those lists. But today, I will mention those 6 names. 6 Fulani men that were convicted as terrorist financiers. But in Nigeria, the media, they are scared to speak on it. I've taken my time. I have the document, I have the information, I have the files of those who were sponsoring, funding terrorism in that so-called Nigeria. They were even going towards trying to create a Boko Haram cell in Fireway, UAE. And they have their, their mules in that so-called Nigeria. But before we get there, let us hear what this man is saying. Let us hear what he's saying. And I will come back to expose them. I will lift up the skirt of the Nigerian Zoo military, the Nigerian government, and expose them. They are scared to do what's right. They only have the power to speak when it comes to the Biafrans, those genuinely trying to liberate themselves from a crazy country like Nigeria. At this point, I want us to please sit back and relax. Hear a bit of what this man is saying, then I'll come back to expose him. If you're ready, let's go there. Listen.
Conversation, true and true.
Listen.
And I'd like to ask you some very tough questions tonight, beginning with a long-time promise of government, not only in this government, about the announcement of terrorism financiers in this country. Why is it difficult to name names of those who are financing terror in this country?
Well, I think the process is on. I think for this government, I can say that just last week, the Attorney General and other ones have gone to Giwa to go and check. Because it has to do with a lot of legal issues, and because again it has to do with international connections. Some of them have funds coming from outside. We cannot do anything from within.
So we know that we know some of these elements.
Yeah, like the ones,
the local ones.
The local ones. What they do normally is they try to employ a few individuals, provide motorcycles to them, something to do, and those ones are remitting funds daily.
Lies from the bottom of hell. You know them. You know who they are, but because their names is not Chinedu or KK or Kafo or Para, then you won't mention them. You know who they are. It's not about bike and all those, buying bikes for them to remit money. That's nonsense. As long as they are part of the agenda, you will not mention them. In fact, the only reason why you are being pressed now as we speak to speak on this is because the international world, they are now putting pressure on you guys. That's why you're acting like you're speaking about it. Because you only come out to speak when it has to do with the Biafran, Simon Ekpa, and Nnamdi Kanu. That's the only time you guys come out to speak. So today I will prove to you that you know them. You have the names, but because they are your brothers, they are your foot soldiers. They were the ones you sent out there to go and get the job done. They are the ones determined to implement the policies, the vision of Osman Danfodio to dip the Quran in the Red Sea. And to get there, they have to go through the River Niger. To Islamize that zoo called Nigeria. You have the answers, you have the names, but don't pretend. But today, I will bust your butt because I took my time. All these years, I've been taking my time, making contacts, trying to get the names of those people that, that the UAE and the US, because it didn't just come from the UAE, it came from the USA. They were commanded to leak those names out after conviction. So don't tell me you don't know the names of those doing what they are doing. Today, I will lift up the skirt of the Nigerian zoo military. Fellow Biafrans, if you are ready, listeners all across the world, I will read to you something that they are all scared to speak about. They know the answers, they have the names, but because it's their brother now, not them, so they won't speak about it. Listen. Boko Haram network in the UAE. The UAE Federal Court of Appeals in Abu Dhabi convicted Abdurrahman Ado Musa, first name, no pun intended though, Mumusa. When I call this guy a terrorist, you guys don't understand why. Your so-called CDS. The first one on the list, his name is, they said, the UAE Federal Court of Appeal in Abu Dhabi convicted Abdurrahman Ado Musa, Saliu Yusuf Adamu, Bashir Ali Yusuf, Muhammad Ibrahim Isa, Ibrahim Ali Al-Hassan, and Surajo Abubakar Muhammad for transferring $782,000 from Dubai to Boko Haram in Nigeria. For transferring $782,000 from Dubai to Boko Haram in Nigeria. So to the media in Nigeria, sometimes I don't like to teach you guys your jobs. You guys know what is right. People like Sheon, who is interviewing this man, you should have done your research. There's something they call the FOI, Freedom of Information. FOI, Freedom of Information. Every country are obliged to give out a freedom of information on something that has to do with your interest and the rest of them. I took my time. I wrote to the UAE. I wrote to America to find out the names of those guys that were mentioned. And more than 1,000 names was given to Nigeria as well. Oh. So, okay, these are the 6 that we've got here now. We have linked them to about 1,000 in that zoo called Nigeria. These are their names. Do your own investigation. And bring them to book. But Nigeria did nothing about it. The Buhari government said, oh, you have caught our 6 angels. You have caught our 6 foot soldiers in Dubai. And you want us to now expose the ones we have at home. Those names were sealed up. Instead, what we are hearing from them, oh, Simon Ekpa this, the Biafrans, they are raising money online, and this, Simon Ekpa this, Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra. God have mercy. I read. Let's continue. The UAE Federal Court of Appeals in Abu Dhabi convicted Abdurrahman Ado Musa, Salihu Yusuf Adamu, Bashir Ali Yusuf, Muhammad Ibrahim Isa, Ibrahim Ali Al-Hassan, and Sarujo Abubakar Muhammad for transferring $782,000 from Dubai to Boko Haram in Nigeria. Now you understand the financiers of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Now you know those who are funding Boko Haram in Nigeria. Now you know the tribes, those interlopers, those strangers who are saying that Nigeria must be Islamized, those bringing the money, the daily bread for these men to carry out their activities. Now you understand why they say, do not call them terrorists, call them headsmen. Call them headsmen. Call them a farmer and herders clash. The farmers and herders, they are clashing. Don't say terrorists that come to your farm to kill people around. No, no, no. Call them a farmer and herders clash. The names I've just listed, they are not the Igbo names. So this information was gotten from where? FOI, Freedom of Information, from the UAE. You see, when we do things thorough. Here in the Western world, you will have the fortitude, the understanding, the confidence to do things. But till this day, your media, they are scared to speak out or call out names. Your Nigerian media, they are scared to call out names. I'm doing the job of your so-called media in that so-called Nigeria. Let's continue. Let's continue. For the last time, I'll read the first chapter. Listen. Or the first verse. It says, the UAE Federal Court of Appeals in Abu Dhabi convicted Abdurrahman Ado Musa. If you know, na Fulani mano. Abdurrahman Ado Musa. Salihu Yusuf Adamu, a Fulani man. Bashir Ali Yusuf, a Fulani man. Mohammed Ibrahim Isa, a Fulani man. Ibrahim Ali Al-Hassan, a Fulani man. Sarujo Abubakar Mohammed, a Fulani man, for transferring $782,000 from Dubai to Boko Haram in Nigeria. Salihu Yusuf Adamu and Sarujo Abubakar Mohammed were sentenced to life imprisonment for violations of UAE anti-terrorism laws. Abdurrahman Ado Musa, Bashir Ali Yusuf, Mohammed Ibrahim Isa, and Ibrahim Ali Al-Hassan were sentenced to 10 years in prison, followed by deportation. They deported a terrorist to Nigeria. And your media didn't hear about it. Your Nigerian government, they didn't come at the airport to put them in chains or to put hood over their head the way they did to Nnamdi Kanu. Hello? 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 Let's continue. Let's continue. They were sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, followed by deportation. Today's designation will prevent these individuals' funding from being used further to support terrorism. Are you hearing that? There was even a sanction. There's a chapter where they told me about the sanctions. There was a chapter that told me about sanctions. They said, sanctions implications. As a result of today's action, all property and interests in property of the individuals named above and any of their entities that are owned directly or indirectly, 50% or more by them individually or with other blocked persons that are in the United States or in the possession or control of the U.S. persons must be blocked and reported to OFAC. Must be blocked and reported to OFAC. Are you seeing what we are saying? Are you seeing what we're saying? Are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? This is what they've been hiding from you guys. What is OFAC? I took my time to now go back to the beginning of the letter they sent to me in the FOI, Freedom of Information. What is OFAC? It means Office of Foreign Assets Control in Washington. Today, the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Asset Control, OFAC, designated a network of six individuals connected to Nigerian-based terrorist group, Boko Haram. Are you hearing what I'm hearing here? Today, the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Asset Controls, OFAC, designated a network of 6 individuals connected to Nigeria-based terrorist group, Boko Haram. Listen to me. All 6 were found guilty of establishing a Boko Haram cell in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, to raise funds for and provide material assistance to Boko Haram insurgents in Nigeria. OFAC, which is the OFAC, actions follows arrest, prosecution, and designation in the UAE in September 2021. September 2021, this was going on, demonstrating the commitment of the Emirati government to using judicial measures and targeted financial sanctions to disrupt the flows of funds to those or these networks. Are you hearing it? With this action, the United States joins the UAE. Are you hearing? The US joining the UAE. USA joining the UAE. With this action, the United States joins the UAE in targeting terrorist financing networks of mutual concerns. Mutual concerns. Said under Treasury, the Secretary of Treasury, Brian Nelson. Treasury continues to target financial facilitators of terrorist activity worldwide. We welcome multilateral action on this Boko Haram network to ensure that they are not able to move any further funds through the international financial system. So what is this man talking about? That, the Nigerian military, we are looking for the financiers. I have the answers here. Why don't they have it? If I have the answers, me, Superstars Media, if I have the answers here, why does your military men don't have it since 2021? They said, oh, they are looking, they are in search of. They are searching for names. Nigerians, deaf, deaf, and blind, you guys should disgust me. Hey! You guys should disgust me. You are so gullible, very easily misled. Let's continue. OFAC designated Abdulrahman Ado Musa, Salihu Yusuf Adamu, Bashir Ali Yusuf, Mohammed Ibrahim Isa, Ibrahim Ali Al Hassan, Sarujo Abubakar Mohammed, pursuant to Execute Order EO 13224 as amended, which targets terrorists, leaders and officials of terror groups, and those providing support to terrorists or act as terrorism. Are you hearing it? The U.S. Department of State designated Boko Haram as a foreign terrorist, blah, 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 and the rest of them on the date 14th November 2013. That was the date that they were designated as terrorists. So what are we talking about? Fellow Biafrans, this is about 20 pages. What are we talking about? If me by myself, an individual, I have the answers, and this idiot here is here on the screen saying they are looking, they are in search of those who are funding terrorism. Not them. Don't be confused. Don't think an Igbo man is there. Not even a Yoruba man is there doing such things. Not them. Their plan is to terrorize Nigerians, bring in Islam through terrorism, scare you away from your lands. When you run away to IDP camp, they will now bring in their brothers to settle in your land, and they rename your land. One of the ways they'll do it is through Ruga. Ruga is a way to create a fort in your community, a fort in your village, a fort in your state, in the name of creating ranches for their cows. The ranch becomes a fort. F-O-R-T, fort. A fortress, a stronghold for the enemy within your own environment. Within your hold, somebody will now come and create a stronghold. From there, they will spring out attacks. This same man is saying, the best way to go now is to create a Ruga ranches in Nigeria. This man was saying it. Oh God, we the Biafrans, we are too much. We are too much. When it comes to intelligence, we are number one. But I'll leave it to the naysayers. Let them say what they want to say. I've given you an information that I've been holding for a while because I asked for this information and they gave it to me. But in Izu, they say, no, don't call them terrorists, call them farmers and headers clash. And your media are saying farmers and headers clash. All the media houses, They are saying farmers and herders clash in Nigeria. I thank God for USA that you guys cannot sway them with that nonsense. They know the truth because we are giving them, we are feeding them the information in real time. You guys don't know who is speaking. Let's continue and hear this man, idiot.
Accounts.
Really?
Yes, so it's been tracked.
Take it back. Listen.
Employ a few individuals, provide motorcycles to them, something to do, and those ones are remitting funds daily into some accounts.
Really?
Yes, so it's been tracked. Those are
So
issues.
all the monies they get from the government go into...
So they try to circulate this money, and that's why it's important for us to be able to track those. And the NFIU has been doing so much. There is so much going, apart from the intelligence setup, the financial links are also being followed through and through, and arrests have been made. And I can assure you that the Attorney General of Federation, the NSA are all working seriously to ensure that we address those issues.
Let's talk security.
Listen.
The Chief of Defense Staff is calling for sweeping changes to international laws, insisting terrorists who commit daily atrocities must be held accountable, just like state actors. At a press conference in Abuja, General Christopher Musa announced that African defense chiefs will soon meet in Abuja to craft a homegrown strategy against terrorism. He questioned why international humanitarian and human rights laws do not criminalize terrorist leaders despite their daily war crimes. The defense chief stressed that while Nigerian troops operate under strict legal codes, insurgents act without restraint, causing massive destruction.
During the NGO things, I mentioned situations where you see the NGO, a particular NGO will come and treat our own troops and then go across and treat terrorists. And then you wonder, how are you treating those that are killing people? And you say because of neutrality. But the laws do not affect them. They do not obey those human rights. So they kill at will, do every damage without anybody controlling them. But you are being restricted because you are a government force. So those are the aspects that we have to look at. And we're appealing that we have to look at these things critically.
Now, them. Forget that talk. Say the Red Cross will come and treat here and treat there. Now, them. Your military is still the same people now. Towards the end, I will expose this point. And them now. Not them. If not, how come the might of the military is in the southeast? A peaceful and striving nation. But the might of the military is in the southeast. But when you have Boko Haram daily buying of the people, nothing is done there. Benue State, Plateau, even in the north now, nothing is done there. Those guys come at will to Bible, but in Biafra land, your presence is there is because not them. What's happening in north? Not them. What is happening in the middle belt? Not them. Those are their foot soldiers. They call them now. I think that man, what's his name? Sheikh Kenny? Sheikh Gumi saying they are their foot soldiers. Not them. Not them. So you guys should not be confused though, because in Nigeria, you guys are confused. But in the Western world, we know the truth. Towards the end, I will bring this point back and you will see where somebody from Al Jazeera was asking this man. We've heard there's a mutual partnership between you guys and the terrorists. What's going on? That even funding to buy the equipment, you guys are not even buying it. Not them. Continue, I beg.
Have the way forward. Laws are dynamic and they are made for humans. So as we evolve, we need to develop laws that will protect our citizens, protect our sovereignty, which is very critical.
So talking security.
And sometimes it's been a bit difficult getting equipment, even when we have the money.
We'll talk about procurement in a minute, but I'm curious about something that you said a little bit earlier in our interview, that amongst many of the challenges are the fact that the enemy is embedded within communities.
Correct.
And they look like us, which leads to all sorts of complications when it comes to successfully mounting this counterinsurgency.
Hold it there. The enemies, they are embedded in the communities and they look like us. They look like us. Not them. They look like us. Not them. Oh, the first time we saw Lakurawa, they were very, very nice. They were friendly. We thought they were friends to us. We ate with them. We drank with them. Lakurawa, they look like us. Boko Haram, oh my God, this guy, so this is this, they are 2,000, they have repented. 100, they have repented. They look like us. They are born again. They captured them suddenly. Boko Haram, terrorists turned to born again. They look like us. Sambisa Forest, we've heard from the story of that man, a teacher, some few months ago. Say that place is so beautiful, it's nice. Red Cross, they are there. They bring us food, they bring us clothes, they bring us medication. There is a big school there. There is a marketplace in Sambisa Forest. A marketplace. People do buying and selling, trade in Sambisa. They look like us, not them. Not them. But you guys go, they confused. Sambisa Forest is a no-go area. That's the place for terrorists. Boko Haram, they are there. ISIS, they are there. ISWAP, they are there. Lakurawa, they are there. We can't go there. But we told you, it's a marketplace. Red Cross come there to give them food, clothing, shelter. There is a big wall built around by who? IBB, Ibrahim Badamosi Babangida. There is a market square there. There are schools there. Although the schools, they only teach in what? Arabic. They look like us. Not them. Not them. Continue, I beg. Listen.
But according to some sources, abuses have been carried out by the military. Let me draw attention to the long list of allegations that have overshadowed your battle with Boko Haram and ISIL in West Africa. Many of those allegations were raised by Amnesty International that say at least 10,000 people, including children, have died in military detention, many of them innocent civilians who were fleeing Boko Haram, hoping for safety and security in the hands of the military, but instead experience alleged brutality at the hands of your forces. Did your military abuse Boko Haram survivors?
Not at all. It's not
only there for me, not them. When you are in a dilemma between the Nigerian military and Boko Haram, you are fleeing from Boko Haram, you see the military, you raise the flag up, I am a Nigerian, you run towards them, and then Payona, not them, because they are finishing the job of Boko Haram. No, you've heard it from at least somebody from, a seasoned journalist from Al Jazeera, something your Nigerian media people, they will never ask in their life. Your Nigerian media men, Rufa Yosenio, Ruben Nabatio, Shen, they will never ask these questions. All they will say is, oh, you guys, you are doing a good job. Oh, we love the military. We love the police. We love the army. God bless the military. You are doing a very good job. Oh, God. Oh, my God. I say sometimes, man, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. In the land of the blind people, where everybody is blind, the one that has one eye is your king. Because at least that one they see small now. If they see with one eye, he'll be the one to direct them. Just like in your media, they say, oh, we thank the military. The military, they are doing a good job. Blame the Igbo, your politicians, Igbo, and you also say the Igbo must go, Igbo. They hoodwink you with the name, Igbo. Oh, sweet heavens, have mercy, Lord. Lord, have mercy. Hey, continue, please.
Character, we don't do such. It's not in our DNA to do such a thing. And, I've had this allegation severally. It's just a reminder. I was a theater commander in the Northeast to also state that even with our monies at times, we find it difficult getting equipment. And the question is why? One of the reasons why this insurgency has been for this long is because we have been denied access to equipment. Even when we have our monies to get to, it's difficult.
Why have you been denied access to equipment?
Well, I really don't understand. It's a question that we keep on asking, why are we being denied?
So this is a political decision you're suggesting?
Political decision.
Listen.
I mentioned corruption because instead of being used for legitimate purchases, this is the words of a court in Jersey, for international viewers, that is a British offshore tax haven, recently processed a case suggesting that as much as $8.9 million of funds were moved out of Nigeria into a bank account in this offshore haven of Jersey, funds that, according to the verdict of court in Jersey in January, were, quote, illicitly obtained by Nigerian officials back in 2014. I appreciate that is some time ago, but I'll ask you again, does the Nigerian Armed Forces have an issue with corruption? Because according to this court verdict, it does.
Well, 2014. This is 2024. I'm the chief of defense staff now. We don't have such allegations.
No.
If they have the facts, I'm sure they will be able to bring out who are those. I mean, anything you travel electronically is captured. So it's not anything hidden. If they have those facts, bring it out. But you see, what we don't want is...
Given everything that we've talked about as we come towards the end of this discussion,
now
these allegations of mismanagement, of corruption, of mishaps carried out by the Air Force, I wonder in your mind whether any of this may have strengthened your enemy. We've talked about a period of 15 long years here. We've talked about playing an almighty game of catch-up.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we've seen Boko Haram regroup, and regroup, and regroup.
Mm-hmm.
What is your answer to that? That you have in some way fed the insurgents?
The problem is that I think we've talked to international community. Let's find out the funding. When they started surrendering, by the time we left, so as we speak, we have over 120,000 that have surrendered. Most of them, when you find them, they are coming with hard currencies. How do they get them? How are they funded? How did they get the training? How did they get the equipment?
What is your suspicion?
Where are them now? Where are those now? Where's the picture? The mock shot of the terrorists with the currency. Forget story. Listen to what they now asked him. Listen.
How did they get them? How are they funded? How did they get the training? How did they get the equipment?
What is your suspicion?
Well, maybe an international conspiracy. You don't know. Who knows? How are they be able to sustain themselves for 15 years?
He called it an international conspiracy. I don't know. How are they able to sustain themselves for 15 years? They want to blame the international organization. That's Nigeria for you.